All right, guys, welcome back to the Imaxit YouTube channel. I'm your host, JD. If you're new, please do smash that like button, share, and definitely subscribe. If you're a member of the channel, massive respect to you lot. And how to become a member, please do click the join button. YouTube will help you along the way. So you know it's early Sunday for a lot. I know it's Sunday early for a lot of you guys, so hopefully you guys rewatching this, you can give me your takes on what we're going to speak on. Obviously, you saw by the title stated that Heimir Hallgrimsson had an interview on Sportsmax, and he laid out a few things in which we wanted to go through it and have our conversations. Obviously, look out for a few videos that I'm going to drop on players and stuff. All right, yes. So what we're going to cover in this one is U20s, what's up for the future, what is to be expected for the Nations League, and also the Copa America. All right, so that's how it's set. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of play the clips here and there, break down each segments, and then continue that conversation. All right, yes. So thanks yet again for coming in. Let me start with the interview right here. Yeah, and if you have not heard it as yet, what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and put the link on the video once it's completed. All right, yes. And again, I have started this one a little bit earlier. Know a lot of you guys might not show up on time due to the fact that I have my kid's birthday to go to right after this. All right, yes.
A lot is riding on
Mansley. I will drop the link soon for you, my brother.
Developing the team, but also financially, this can be a really good year for the JFF if we do good. These two tournaments in March, the Nations League semi-final and hopefully a final, and then Copa America, big tournaments. So yeah, if we do well, it's going to be a really good year for Jamaica. So hopefully we'll do.
Right, I'm hoping for the best for the Jamaica Reggae Boyz as well.
All right, so the first point he touched, because obviously she asked him as to how hard of a job they do have coming into the new year, and he's saying that yes, it's a hard task, yes, but it's also a good task as well, due to the fact that we have two major tournaments going head on, and both of those tournaments, if we do well, it can generate more funding. And he's going to kind of elaborate on what the fundings that he's talking about, because obviously he talks on numerous interviews about the restrictions that they do have due to the fact that they don't have enough funding. So maybe they could have done even better, but because of the limitations, it has to just stretch where it could. All right. Bless up yourself, world boss. Bless up yourself, Vinny Congo in the building.
Let's reflect a little though, because 2023 was a really good season for you on the Reggae Boyz. And as we look back on what was, for me, the high point would be when the Reggae Boyz ended the year with that comeback win, defeating host Canada 3-2 in the second leg of League A quarterfinal in Nations League action. Was it the same for you? Was that the high point?
Yeah, for sure, because not only it was a good win and it was good for confidence, it's good for the growth of the team. Now they believe that, you know, no hurdle is too big for us, but secondly, it meant a lot. So for us as a team to qualify for these tournaments, this game was like a big opportunity, and we seized it. So for so many reasons, the highlight of last year.
Would you say that, you know, that victory, you said it meant a lot to you, right? But for the program, the Jamaica Reggae Boyz program on the whole, because I know when you, of course, were going through the bad patch when you now started, and of course the first thing the fans want to do is fire the coach. When things are not going their way, nobody thinks about the players. It's the coach that must go. Would you say that also helped you, you know, in becoming welcomed by the Jamaican public?
I really don't see it that way. You know, I was a national team coach for Iceland for 7 years, and it's similar everywhere you go. In Jamaica, you have 3 million national team coaches. They all want to express their opinion, and that's the right. This is the national team, so you should have a right to express your opinion on the national team. And it will never be that way that I can agree to everyone. It's just too many versions of how you want to do things. So this is just something I need to live with. It was, as I say to the media, especially back home, you know, but Jamaicans are maybe more special in Iceland because they really are outspoken. So they are not hiding their feelings, no. They just say what they mean. So the first leg we lost at home against Canada, and the second leg we won.
Yes.
So after the first game, I experienced to be the idiot of the country, and then it was kind of the opposite when we won in Canada. So no, that's just the life of a national team coach, and probably all coaches. This is just our situation.
All right, so I love the way he answered that question. First thing, it's the life of a coach. 1 week you don't get the result, and the other week you get the result. You're the hero. So the first week you're the idiot, and then the next week you're the hero. And then he tucked it in to say that it's pretty much 3 million coaches you have. All right, and Jamaicans are outspoken, which I do agree with all of those take. Someone sent the statement to me, you know, without me listening to it, you know. And at first, I believed that it was something bad. But when I listened to what he said, he never said anything bad. I thought that he explained himself well right there. So let me know what say you guys as to the conversation that he had there on the coach should be fired. I thought that he handled it better, because maybe she never meant it that way, and he worked it into a professional settings, so you can know that he's trained in media. All right, he spun it back on her and said, listen to me, man, everyone has their rights because they are a stakeholder of Jamaica just the same, and also at the same time, when you lose, people have the right to beat you, and when you win, people have the rights to glorify you, and that is very much fair. At least he's keeping it balanced to say that he noticed that people give him the credit when he actually wins. You know, yes. So I think that he answered that perfectly, and he evaded that trap that maybe she tried to set for him right there. Maybe I am the one thinking out of the box. All right. Brown Beer, big up yourself. Thanks for being here. Omar, massive respect. And then we have Aubrey. Aubrey, I heard you. I all of my videos, I've told you that I live in Belgium. So it's surprised that they asked me. I was surprised that they asked me about living in Canada. No. Africans live in Canada. All right. He was on point. Good conversation. Yes, I like that. And the question was that the turning point? And I would say yes, it was the turning point for a different reason than what he stated. It was a turning point because you had a lot of people in position wanted him to fail, as in not complete that, because he has because he made the statement that he wants the best players to come. So we are in the campaign of running the best players to represent Jamaica. All right, so if we had never gotten it correct early on in the development, a lot of more noises would have been around the place. So I do believe that win against Canada kind of saved what we are trying to push forward. So I do believe the question was a good question at the same time. Yes, and I do believe that yes, this qualification saved us by the project that we are trying to run. All right, a lot of us here for 4 years telling people that this is the best way to go. Well, majority of Jamaicans inside the country don't believe that this is the best way to go. So the results that came about, sorry, the win never came on Jamaica's soil, because maybe a lot more people would have heard about it, because most of them don't even know that we have actually qualified. Most of them have even checked for the other result. They turned up in the national stadium. So I'm just sorry that we never got the win in the national stadium and then lose the other leg in Canada. I think the perception would have been a little bit better for some weird reason. But believe me, you guys know that I'm talking the truth right there. All right. So I do believe that that victory saved us and saved the project that we are trying to push. All right, guys, as you come in, remember to share the video and like the video. All right, very much important. And if you're new to the channel,
our
subscribe.
Job is most often dependent on if we win games or lose games. It doesn't matter how good we are working or what we are doing. It's all about winning matches.
Yeah, most important. Apart from that, are there any other major high points in 2023 that you feel is worth mentioning, especially since you were the man leading the team?
No, the Gold Cup was a good experience. So I often say that going to major finals is the only chance a national team coach has to actually interact with the players, because the FIFA windows for us is only 9 days and even 8 days because of travel distance. So we only have these guys for 8 days, and within these 8 days we have 2 matches. So you cannot do much in a FIFA window, but when you have a tournament you have a month with the players. So that's the time really that a group can develop into a good unit and a unified group, and you feel immediately if a player belongs or don't belong in a tournament. So for development, and the big picture is qualifying for the World Cup in 2026. For that big picture, qualifying for the Gold Cup last year, and qualifying for the Copa America this year helps to build a team that can be strong enough to qualify for the World Cup and even do good things in the World Cup in 2026.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so I like what he said right there. The length of the time that we have over the FIFA window might not be enough, but going to further places in the competitions really helped us better, because maybe the shorter spans, he did not get enough time to really analyze these players to see who is good or who is the best option for him. All right, so what I'm going to throw out there for you: did we beat him too early in some of the shorter windows, that he's not picking the right players? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, because I do agree with him. The longer he takes, because remember, he never just came in from Jamaica, he came in from Iceland. Obviously, people would say that you should be doing your analysis on the job that you're getting, but sometimes seeing the persons them in upfront, because you know how we stay, we can convince anybody that we're the greatest. Believe me, we can convince them, anybody, that we're the greatest. So the man might come in and believe that, okay, you're saying that all of the man them that born on the rock, playing on the rock, playing in JPL are the greatest. Maybe that's what he got when he came in. So he had to give everyone an opportunity, even in important games, just to see what they can offer, because some of the other windows, they weren't available. All right, so I do agree with him right there. So and that's why at one point I said I would extend the way how he assessed certain players. You understand me? Yes. So I do agree with him right there. Right, so we have a few more persons in the chat. Saw nothing wrong with the interview. Grimmy did well. DJ Prezi, big up yourself. Brian Burke, long time don't see my brother. Big up yourself. RR in the building. Massive respect. 80% of Jamaican near or far not aware of the team coming or going. Yes. And then we have S-Technic in the building. Massive respect. Good morning to all of you guys popping up. Massive respect that you guys turn up early, even though I started the stream 12 o'clock my time. No, 12 something my time. JD, the way we won that game in Canada was social. People who have not seen it should do so. All right, fair enough. Dean, Fraser, big up yourself. Massive respect. But answer my question right there as it relates to the coach himself and the timing. Did we put too much pressure on him when he had shorter periods with the players them to pick the right players them? I'm only talking about picking the right players them, because that's what he was actually talking about. All right, so what we have to do is to give him the extra time. Let me open the discard, so maybe Lansley Blake that wants to come in can come in and give his take. All right. No, I think I have to wait, because maybe the sound won't come through for Lansley, but I'm going to try to see if the sound will come through for Lansley nonetheless. All right, I'm going to put him in. Or you guys want me to continue play it and break it down? All right, you know what? Lanzi, give me a little time for me to break it down. Let me run it for maybe 10 more minutes so we can get over some of the points, and then I can open it and switch it over completely. All right?
So, many times people, of course, get angry when the team does bad. They celebrate the successes. But it's the people that are behind the scenes that really understand the work that goes on. Talk to me about the work, the ups, the downs that went into getting the Reggae Boyz to this point. And for you, coming from a different country, it must be more difficult.
Yeah, so I kind of did the similar thing when I started with Iceland. A lot of things that we needed to improve. I was lucky, or we were lucky, that we had an experienced coach from Sweden coming to guide us and kind of giving us the blueprint. How, because Sweden has done really good prior to him coming. He was the coach for Sweden, I think, for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
So he qualified for, I think, 6 major finals with Sweden, a pretty small country. So he gave us like the formula on what Sweden did, and we adapted it to Iceland. So I'm trying to bring it here, what we can use from that formula to do the same things with Jamaica. But it's a lot of things we need to improve. Not only the infrastructure here in Jamaica, but all the setup and things. And if we really do what we say, or say what we do, if we want to become one of the best national teams in the world, we need to do similar things, at least get close to what the best teams are doing. So, but we need to upgrade in so many areas here, but hopefully slowly we will get there.
Yeah, in time.
But it's difficult. Everything is about budget and stuff. So but we try to do the best of what we have. So yeah, so that was the most shocking thing when I came, was kind of how much improvement is needed here to be the same level as what I'm used to, for example, in Iceland.
Understand.
Okay. I got what he's saying right there. Even though we have the talented players, them, which are spread across the world, he thought that maybe it would have been an easier transition. But based on not just the infrastructure, but the things that needs to, the basic things that needs to put in place. So for instance, if we truly have a talent in Jamaica, local Jamaica, it's hard to unearth that talent due to the fact that you don't have enough educated people on the football inside. So we're dealing with football, so don't misconstrue what I'm saying. You don't have enough educated people in that department to evaluate those talents. So he came in, he never had a database on the Jamaica side. He never had any statistical datas on the Jamaica side. So he had to come in to do his job right there. So he has to make up that statistical data for the local guys them. He has to evaluate them. So when he could have just come in and focus on the national team itself, he has to go even deeper from the root to start something. So that's what shocked him the most. He believes, not just the infrastructure like the fields and stuff, but also the natural basis of having information to make a more sound decision. And maybe that's the reason why he had to rely on, what's his name again, the assistant coach, Meran Garden, so much, because clearly there's no data for nothing there. You understand me? So that was the shocker. But on top of it, infrastructure and every other things. But he might have expected that they never had enough money to do certain things. But just the normal basic things that we talked about in the last video, he's saying that was one of the key shocker for him right there. Let me take the rest of the comments. MP W94 says, blessings JD, New York cold. Well, Belgium is very cold for the longest time. For around 2 weeks now, under minus for majority of the days. No, he got the right pressure. Right, Omar Bless Up said, we qualified, but his system remains flawed in my opinion. So I wouldn't say we beat him early. Alright, so it's fair. Alright, good. Determined, bless of herself. Thanks, Sabina. Good morning, JD. She did okay. Wish she asked more direct questions. I think she, I think she did as best. Key phrase. If we do what we say. All right, and also that as well, because your statement right there added to what I'm saying. He talked about what is needed. So obviously, if we do it, then we can come on par with others. So pretty much what we're doing at this point, and it would have led to what we're doing at this point, is the only way that can give us success, due to the fact that we don't even have nothing in place. So the only thing we can do is to have a good coach, take up that good coach, get all the good players them, and see if we can fix something as fast as possible, to see if we can earn the capital to go back and fix what we had. We should have done from day one. This is what we have always talked about, you know. So him saying it out of his mouth only proves that we are correct. The only way we can do it, people said we should not start from the top, but we only have the top to start from, because we don't have the capital to start from the bottom. So because we are already in the competitions, we might as well try to win the competitions to get the funding, so he can have more capital to go across Jamaica to evaluate talents and give them what they need. You understand me? So sometimes we are jumping the gun too fast. All right. So I love that he said that. Grim saying we need to improve our operations to best practices to improve the football. All right. RR, big up yourself. And then we have Martin Baker in the house. Massive respect. I'm going to try and open this. I'm going to open the chat, because that will help me not to spend the whole time here, because I don't have the whole time. So I'm going to try and pin this. Yes, as guys come in, make sure to hit the like button, as what Mr. Brian says. But we expected less people here because it's very early in the morning, and you know we don't rush things. We know that the people will turn up after later, I would say. Yes, so we expected that. So once let's see if we can aim for, we have 18 likes, 50 odd people here. Maybe that's a little bit low, but whatever. Let me continue, because we're here to push out the information. Start from the nursery, no bottom, round here. Okay, all right. I'm not up for that today. I'm not. I'm Kevin Jones, best of myself. Let me continue with what Mr. Hallgrimsson said, and the link is there for people that wants to jump in the Discord and give their take. All right. So, Pastor, the link is there. I will test. Pastor, you hear me? Let me know if you're hearing me.
I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Okay, that is great, because I am hearing you back. All right, I'm going to play. I'm going to actually play the thing, and let me know if you are hearing it as well. All right.
What would you say has been the toughest moment for you as a
Yes, I'm hearing
in
it.
2020?
All right, that is incredible, because that means I might have accidentally figured out how to take the calls and with people inside the actual Discord. I don't know if the people can hear you back, but more likely they will. All right, yeah, man. Coach Teddy, be bless yourself. All right, let me continue it, and me and Pastor can break it down.
Sorry.
Well, adapting and learning new culture always takes time.
Yeah.
You know, for example, when I came, there was kind of so little data available for a new coach coming in. I didn't know many of the players, so needed to spend a lot of time analyzing what options I have to select for the national team, and I'm still doing it. I haven't seen half of the players available, and then there's players all over the world.
Yeah.
Plus there's players here, so you always will oversee someone or just take a look at one game and forget a player, or you don't see in this game but he will play good the next game, and everybody's asking why is he not picked. So this is just the challenge, and we are trying to work on a database that, for example, when I leave, whenever that will be, we leave something behind, so when the next coach comes in,
It'll be easier.
it will be easier for him to come in, and at least there will be some data available for him.
Yeah.
To make it easier, so he doesn't need to spend a lot of time doing, and then it's doing the mistakes in the beginning. So if we leave something behind, the next guy doesn't need to do the same mistakes that we have been doing.
Yeah,
so that's all, because the JFF is investing in the coach. So this investment must be something that somebody can build on in the future.
Yeah.
Maybe the next coach will not use everything we are doing, but at least he knows what we have been doing.
Yeah, he doesn't start from zero. Well, 2024.
Yes, well said right there for the coach. We have just explained the same point, and he went over it just the same. All right, so that is very good. All right. Yes. So, Pastor, you have anything to add to it? Let me know. They are saying that they're not hearing you well, but maybe you never spoke for long enough. Yes. So go ahead. Go ahead.
Chat who will be watching it on a watch back. I'm going to begin with answering the question that you asked if we had beaten him too early to deal with this part that he just went over. I think no, we didn't beat him too early. You see, now we know I have a reason for him operating the way he did. And I'm going to draw in players that we...
Okay, hold on, Pastor. They said there's an echo. There's an echo. So let me sort it out. 1 second, guys. 1 second. Just let me sort it out instant. Let me sort it out instant. I know what it is because I was the one fixed it. So I will sort out, people. Just hold on. All right, hold on. Let me get it right here. Input, output. All right, so let me see. USB codec. All right, so USB audio codec, driver audio display, MSI. Right, so maybe. Are you hearing me, Pastor? I am not hearing you. 1 second. Let me sort out that.
Hearing me now?
The problem is, but I will fix it, guys. I will fix it. Maybe I have to play it outside. Pastor, you hear me now?
Still hearing you.
All right. So, Pastor, hearing me. 1 second, Pastor. Don't. I will fix it. I will fix it. 1 second. It's just me not realizing which one is the speaker audio codec WMX. This is the one that says it's the audio out. Are you hearing me now, Pastor? Let me see.
Always.
Yes, he should be able to hear me, but I'm not hearing him because of the option that I've selected. 1 second, guys. I have it just came in. The headphone just came in. So, Pastor, you hear me well now, right? And it should not echo at this point.
Not hearing the echo.
All right. So, let me know if you guys are hearing the echo. But it should be gone at this point. All right? Yeah. All right. So, let me know if you guys are hearing the echo. But it should be gone at this point. All right? Yeah. All right. So, let me know if you guys are hearing the echo. Okay, it's much better now. All right, so let me know if you get any echo, and then I will just mute something, and it will be fixed. You continue, Pastor. Go ahead, Pastor.
So, I would say no, we didn't beat him too soon, because now we're getting the understanding or a reason for the players we're asking about and can't see. What Grim just said is that the players that we would have used prior to him getting here, he came in and there's no data on anybody, neither local nor overseas, representing the national team. So that answers the reason for us to have waited so long for the defender, the Hector, to return, and probably is the same reason for us not to see Wes Harding, because the local people around him don't have any data, but they are telling him about other players. So we would see a continuation of people like Javane Brown, rather than see the other players who were better in that position than him. So, Grim covered a lot of things in this interview, and I watched the interview twice, JD, because I was very sure that you would, put on something that incorporated this. If not by itself, you would have done something with it. So I watched it twice because I was so happy for that interview. So some things were cleared up.
And I agree with you right there. When he said there's so much players that we can get to, but obviously I have to start from here. So I think that is one of the parts of the interview that was cleared up. Like, okay, yes, I'm taking, and he had said it at first. And remember the first time he did something, he said people pretty much forced me to pick these players. Like, they are the ones telling me that these are the hyped players, them the known players, them know. So give them an opportunity. You understand me? So it's always tough on him to get everyone out the way, because you have to see what they can do, because you don't want to leave any thing unturned due to the fact that you're just coming in and you don't want to make any enemies at the start. You want to make sure you give everyone the chance, so at least they can help you back when the time comes. Because you prove that, okay, you want your players in, I gave your players them an opportunity, and let's see, let me make my way works now. And I think they are on their my way works now, because they've proven that, okay, Javian Brown didn't really cut it 100%. Lex Alambekisi came in. He's 19, 20 years old. Prove that what we're saying is true. Latibodier, Dishan Bernard came in. Ethan Pinnock came in. They all prove that, okay, yes, show you when you come from a higher standard of play, you have a better chance to turn out better. Omari Gray came in, one of the best signings for us, period. So it proved yet again that once you pick from the top of the tree, they fit in faster because they're more educated in footballing sense. So please don't kind of mix it over into something else that we don't want to get into. All right? Yes, these players can adapt faster. All right, yes, and if he had started, maybe he would have started with putting in the best players in the national team, but know exactly what is needed for the lower level to get them up to this level. But he had to come in and figure those things out on a lower budget just the same. So he's pretty much saying that it's not easy for him. It has been challenging for him, but he's just taking what he gets and trying to make the best out of it. And hopefully these guys keep their words, because he's already on a razor-thin budget to get the best out of it. So hopefully he can keep the razor-thin budget as to what they said they are going to do. That's what I've gotten from him right there. Guys, we are on 22 likes. We have 70 odd people here. So if you could do better on the likes, do better on the likes. So if we can get it up to 70, do that for us. Share the video around, because that's the only way people can find the video. And we have I think I'm going to start this 2:30. So we still have an hour to go. Go ahead, Pastor. And then I will continue playing it.
Just adding to what you just said, if you notice, he went back to the same source that we keep referencing, the way how JFF operate and the reason for doing some things. That he's helped by Maran Gordon in the absence of the data that is necessary for him to make informed decisions. He's helped by Maran Gordon. So people would hear me bash the JFF every stream. These are the things that I am aware of without hearing Grim saying it, but Grim saying it substantiate what the claims we have been making. The JFF strategically gets their way.
No, but Pastor, before you go there, Pastor, look at it this way then, Pastor. Remember, he needed this. So, all right, first thing, I have to ask you this way, Pastor. Was it the right thing to sign Mr. Grimm here? Yes or no? Short answer, yes or no?
Yes, because it's the only way Jamaican football goes forward.
Okay, all right, so yes, stop it, but just stop it right there. Well, Grimm never had the information that he wanted. None at all. So could we find a better person than Maran Gordon to assist Grim, because we don't know the finer detail what happened. Mr. Speed told us that he came on board just to soak up that he can provide something in the future for Jamaica. But Grim himself never knew the players them. But the task at the same time from Mr. Speed was to improve the locals as well. So he had to go and deal with the locals them, but he never knew nothing because he never had any statistical reports to analyze anything. So do you have someone in the country that is better equipped than Mr. Man himself, Meran Garden? So that is the question I have to ask you, Pastor, because you can't say JFF wanted their way. Because I see it different.
I'm going to answer you. You may or may not have somebody better than Meran Gordon. But this is how I'm going to tell you that JFF have their way. This is now we're going in our 7th cycle World Cup qualification since qualifying for 98. This is the 7th cycle we're going into. Yet the statement is we do not have data on any of the primary ingredient that is needed for success. The JFF has continued this farce that we possess the talent on the land to do it. And that is why they have not gone ahead.
Pastor, they just said they don't have any data on what we need for success. That is not exactly what the coaches them said. The coaches them know what can be successful, but it's the extension of what we want as Jamaicans, because we want these other guys to be as equally as good as the others. But if it was just to be successful, the coaches them already had what they wanted to be successful. The under 20 coach tell you, and this coach told you what he thinks can get the success right now. It is just because we want a different success as well, so it makes it completely different.
We're not talking about the coaches.
Okay.
Remember that.
But remember, people listening, Pastor. Remember, some people listening.
Yeah.
So I have to try clear it up. Yeah.
This is true for Grim. It was true for the other coaches before him. So, because their agenda is to get the locally born players the highlights and the limelight, they do not put anything in place that would show you the reality that they are not up to speed. So for me, I believe that with the creation of the database now, the JFF modus operandi is being or has been eroded. So we are in a better place for having Grim. I don't know if this was a collective intention of all the members of the JFF administration, and so I believe they are getting the result of shooting themselves in their foot or feet, because Grim is undoing what they have continued for 7 cycles, which would be 28 years.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I understand where you're coming from, but I was just talking on what's going on now. And the hiring of that, to say that what we did with the hiring of the coach from U7, which is Mr. Speed, because he already cleared that up, they did the right thing with whatever condition we are in at this present moment. Yes. And because and I can't blame Meran Garden for being the one that's helping out the coach at the same time. But you are going back to say that it shouldn't have been this case if they had done their jobs properly. So I totally understand. You're correct, but I was just dealing with the face value at this point to say that this was the best way it could have been done, after JFF they messed up, but they messed up, which they have messed up almost everything every single time. So it's not something where yes, it's not something that we don't know. So all I was just trying to give the people is what's going on now, and I have to commend somewhat. I have to commend Meran Garden. No, commend the coach to try, not Meran Garden, commend the coach, because we don't know, most of the people that came in, we are not 100% on the same thinking of, and I don't think it works out because the coach never brought them back. So that maybe prove that it never worked out in that level. Maybe I'm wrong. You understand me? But at least someone was actually there to try and help him extend his horizon faster. You know, so that's where I'm going to give Meran the credit, just to be available and not just to soak up the information, so Jamaica could have a better understanding in the coaching department, but also be impactful of adding something to the coach staff. So that's where I want to give him the credit.
Have to agree with those.
Yes.
Fortunately for us, and when I say us, I mean the Jamaica fan base. Total fan base. Fortunately for us, with the creation of the database, not just the database, the data on players, we can now compare. So when we say, okay, when the coach say, I want this player, you can't ask him why not that player, because the data will be there to show that Blake runs and cover X amount of ground, and JD only manage X amount of ground. So I'm going to pick the one that covers that amount of ground because that is what I want in my system. So argument get crashed with the data being available for everybody to use.
All right, fair enough. Jerome says, in other words, we/JFF are confident in the delusion. But to be honest, Mr. Spade came out and said that he found out that we are not good enough. So because of that, we have to hire the people that are good enough, and we try to gain the data off them. So that's why Meran Garden came on board in the first place. So they want the persons that are good enough to do the job, but also improved ourselves. So if we find ourselves in a position that we can't further these guys because obviously we don't have money, so we can't pay the guys them in the next cycle. And it's not because they are not successful, but maybe because we have so much things, we don't have enough sponsors and a lot more things connected to it. So we could actually patch a local coach in this position. I know people don't like to hear about that, but we are just explaining the situations right there. All right, like up the video. That's what Martin says. I think once people come on, or real people, they are like the video. Majority of the people that comes on our video at first, they are not the real persons of our channels. Believe me. We have the analytics here and it shows. Coach Hallgrimsson is a blessing. All right, Nitra, thank you very much. Osh Puppy, massive respect, thanks for being here. Yes, Schaefer took his data with him. Tapper used what he knows, and then we have Fana Minot in the building. So let me go through the rest of it, guys, because he touched a few other points that I wanted to clear up. All right, he touched we don't have the plate because maybe copyright strike on this thing, because I've written down everything. So he touched that in the coming months, which is February, before the other competitions coming through for both U20s and national team, they have struck a deal with Trinidad and Tobago that they will play them in a few friendlies, and they are trying to concentrate because their plans were to concentrate on the domestic players. So the reason for that, all right, before we go into that, you okay with them taking that approach of trying to find a few gems in here and there with the same thing of the Trinidad games in Jamaica, in Trinidad this time around, before the actual competitions them come on board? And the reason for me asking that, Pastor, is to say that most of these players won't play regardless. So what are the, I'm just questioning that. So what say you immediately after that statement right there?
As of what he said in the interview, I don't think the program is necessarily to find gems. If he finds gems, it will be a plus. but the program is actually to improve the stock on the island. So since it is not a FIFA window and we will not benefit from having the players that we would consider our best players, he still has to develop the players to where they become competitive.
Okay,
So
okay.
I'm fully in agreement with them taking the local cohorts to get them international exposure, to teach them the system of play. And this also helps to gather data on individual local born players so that the data will be used to position them in the marketplace rather than them being shoveled through the national team.
All right, well said, Pastor. So, guys, are you okay with that? Do you think that is a part of the solution to not force people in a main team? Let me know. Let me know. Because I asked the question, but remember, I agreed with the coach. I thought that that's the best way to do it. But I just asked it based on the fact that he keep on mentioning money. So people could get this from it to say that if we don't have any money, why are we wasting money at this time before the upcoming games? And at the same time, what Pastor said, we are not looking for no talent out of it. It's just exposure for the kids, the local players them. But that could have come after. So I'm just bringing up that question because I know people would have brought it up. But I totally agree with the coach. Once we have the time, go with it. Try and get them as much game time as possible to see if they can get anywhere. You understand me? But it should not be national team main games. We are trying to force players in to see them. So we prefer to see them right now through those friendlies. So I do agree with what the coach said right there. Up, Siobhan Hutchinson, massive respect. Kelvin Dre, big up yourself. Thanks for being here. 2 previous coaches took us to Gold Cup final. Now Grim need to bring us to the promised land. All right. US doing the same thing with their MLS team. JD played Slovenia. I know. I've watched the game yesterday, Nitro. But remember, US MLS team might be on par with our actual team. You understand me? So the levels that we're talking about is completely different. But I understand the concept. I understand it's a concept you're talking on. Signal says, good answer, Pastor. That is correct. Okay, well, we're just vibing, all right? I am happy with that still. Massive respect. I am happy with that still. Okay. I am okay with active participation, helping local players improve their craft skills and fostering professionalism. Wonderful right there. Agree as well. So everyone agreed on that statement. The U20s will be going to Trinidad as well, maybe in the coming weeks, because it has to be in the coming weeks because the competition will run through the 23rd of February to the 2nd of March. All right. Yes. And we're already at the 22nd of January. So we only have a few more weeks to finish preparation and go straight into action.
The senior team, JD.
What you said?
What Grim was saying?
What you said?
Based on what Grim was saying, the U20 goes before the senior team.
No, but I expect that. I never said they are going to go at the same time. I'm just giving. Remember, I'm talking to the subscribers, so I have to lay out the information, then come to a conclusive point. So remember, you always talk to me as if it's only me alone you're talking to. I am talking to the entire world. I told you I'm going to turn it into a big YouTuber and a pastor. All right? So don't worry yourself. All right? So, with whatever they have, they have to go to Trinidad and see if they can get things to go together. Obviously, I still believe that the professional players will always come in late. All right, so you still need to bring a core and get some reps in because you have to find players. You're still not going to have a full professional, like overseas professional sets of players in the youth 20s. I still don't believe that we have reached that time that it will happen. Maybe in the next cycle, we will get closer to things like that happening, you know. But for this one, I don't see it. All right, let me try and get so for that, Pastor, you're okay with the timing that we're going to have the game? Let me just go through the comments and then you answer that. All right, fan of mine that says winner boss nobody pan no tournament friendly is okay. Chevron says they are leaving tomorrow. I respect what you said, Chevron, but you remember I can't just say things that I don't know. So Chevron said that we put it on the screen, so I would just leave it right there for what you have said. I will investigate it, and once I have the conclusive evidence, I will produce it back to them. All right, hope you understand that. Santini, thanks for being here. JD, Speed said U20 should be leaving tomorrow. Okay, Speed said that. Okay. All right. I will still check it out to make sure. All right. Yes, but as according to what people saying in the chat, Santini said Spade is confirmed that Chevron was giving it off his own statement. He never said Spade said that. All right, so I guess it's in the ballpark of tomorrow or whatever the thing is. All right, yes. Are you okay with that, the viewers? And Pastor, what say you as to we getting in some friendlies? Remember, we had a friendly at least before. All right, yes, we had a friendly at least before, and we had camps before as well. So are you okay with the progression coming in from the U20s?
That okay, I believe we need to get ourselves comparable to other international teams. And one of the things that I guess you'll get to it, but Grim said that we don't always have to travel very far because there are good national teams within proximity, within the area that, would give us good enough measuring things to see where we are going into a competition. So I'm in full agreement. And I just hope that we grow along with what the coach is doing, realize that truth don't need assistance, and reality will always come to the fore. The cream rises to the top of the milk all the time.
Okay, so based on what I've heard from the U20 coach, they're still searching at the 21st of January. Are you guys okay with that? Are you thought that we should have been moving a little bit faster? Like we already have a core set of local players that we can make our decision through, and have some that we are not deciding on as yet due to the fact that we have the overseas guys them coming in. But I don't get the impression as if we have passed the first stage as yet. I still believe that we are still working out who will be coming in and also who we should be selecting from the local side as well. Have you gotten that impression when you listen to the actual coach, John Wall? Because that's what I've gotten. And would you be pleased with that? Or you have to take it because of how the JFF is running things at this point, maybe because of finances and everything?
You're talking ahead of me, but exactly that. It's not that I'm pleased with it, it's that I'm understanding of the situation he's in. The reality is that we do not have it how we want it. Because if you don't have data on professionals, I am sure you don't have data on schoolboys. So he's in the same situation. And the fact that we do not have any word that all the players that he's thinking to get have gotten their documentation sorted out, he is in a place of uncertainty. So I am not expecting that until the very day before the day of the flight. I'm not expecting that he would have nailed down the persons he is taking. So everybody in camp is a possible go. And so, yeah, I understand his situation.
All right. So why I've said all of that, is just for the fans them to realize that we're taking baby steps for several reasons. So for me, I wouldn't beat him I do believe that we should be ahead of the curve. I heard Siobhan saying that yes, the squad have already. No, the squad have not been selected as yet. Siobhan, because the squad is the squad that will be playing. That has not been selected as yet. They have picked up a set of players that they still want to see. And due to the fact, as what Pastor said, we don't know who is truly coming from overseas. You're still picking. So not even the local squad fully picked as yet. You might see a few key players, but you can't say definitive that all of the players that you want from the local is already selected. No. And remember, Siobhan, I can talk to people just the same, you know? Yes, and I can talk to anybody that anybody can talk to. So I know things, but sometimes I try to make sure I don't sell the fans them a false perception, you know, and because that's not the case. We have the local, to go to this trip, yes, we have selected players, but some of these players will be involved and some will be on the line. Some will be on the line due to the fact that we don't know what is going on with others' papers. You know? So what I'm trying to say, Siobhan, is people, it's not going to be solved in this U20s, but for the next U20s, maybe 2 years, next year, I think we're gonna have a better understanding, because once we do get the local side data start to go up, and also we start get the overall database, people can draw on things very earlier. So that's what I was trying to go towards. I understand what you're trying to make sure you give people information here, but I have to always structure it away. So when the time comes and we don't have the right team, people can't beat them. Just know that it's a process, and it will have ups and downs until maybe the next cycle. That's what I was trying to go towards. I just said the local players for Trinidad trip, okay. But that's what I'm trying to clear up, because sometimes when you say something, people maybe took it the complete other way. So hope you understand. Yeah, go ahead, Pastor. And big up Juras.
That is how controversies are born, because you were not just talking about the local the squad for the Trinidad trip. You spoke about the under 20 team for the under 20 competition. So we were talking about the position he's in, where he's not settled as to the under 20 squad for the competition. The under 20 squad that he's taking to Trinidad for the 2 games, he can settle it because he has had them in camp for a week or so. So he can select the players he's taking to Trinidad. But that does not mean that the players that go to Trinidad, all of them will make the under 20 team for the competition, because that is going to be heavily bearing on who get the documentation sorted out of who he wants to go.
Yeah. So that's what we're pretty much saying. So hope people understands. We're never trying to come off from a point. Like we are in the know. We're exactly there, but we always try to come off from a point of we trying to give you the information so you can decide for yourself, much more accurate, and don't really beat. We don't want to put up the narrative of we know everything. So when we say something it's super conclusive, and then we beat the coaches them, because what we have realized now, people even though we knew it from before that people are actually forcing people to push people in, and it makes it difficult for the coach to fully pick his team. We had said that over and over, but people never really listened to what we were saying, and he keeps on putting it out there to say, okay, yeah, I needed help at first, you know, but it makes it more challenging because we have to seeping through these type of guys, and we only had a limited amount of guys that we could have picked at the time. You understand me? Yes. So that is how it sets.
I'm not even sure. Since you mentioned John Wall and the under 20s, let me just say this.
We had to mention it because he talked on it.
Because we mentioned it in the interview. So it's a interview. Look at this. And this is what upsets a lot of people. Despite what you think about Craig Butler has data on the players at Phoenix. So, because Wall don't have anything to compare with what Craig Butler have, he chose to select what Craig Butler gave him. And that created a stink. Even if the guys are better that are elsewhere in the country than what is at Phoenix, the fact that the data is not on them, Wall has to bring them in to see them before he can make any assessment. He can assess the data that Butler presents to him on each of his players. And so, even when we have beat some people,
you brought a good point. I never looked at it like that, I never looked at it like that. They say that because Craig Butler players, he might have had data on them. That's why Wall took it. I never looked at it like that. Maybe it was because of my judgment of that individual. I never even looked at it that way. So sometimes you prove that everyone can say something that maybe you never thought of. And I think you're actually right, because that's the approach that they have always said at the start.
I am the one that is going to be quick to beat them when they go to line, So I have to be fair in my assessment and putting things into perspective, We all know that the best schoolboy team in Jamaica is Clarendon College. But in the absence of data on each player from Clarendon College, they are a team. So Wall would have to take the entire Clarendon College team, go look on them. Because you can't just watch one or two match and break down every player. You have to see the players. So when Butler presents data on Dick, Tom, and Harry, James and John, the coach, who is a professional coach, who works from a position of information, is forced to take that. That is a premise he can work from. And that has nothing to do with the quality of the players. Only that the coach needs information to make his decision. So again, Mr. Wall, I would have to take off at least one of the lash according to the Roman law and only give you 39 out of the 40. So yes. And I would listen your sentence.
All right, Pastor. Just relax, Pastor. Juras, massive respect for noticing that. Yeah, man, respect. We always do our work here, but because we have a high standard, people don't really care about that, But respect, same way, at least you care, Yes. Siobhan says the top CC players are too old for. No, I don't think so, Siobhan. I don't think so. Because the CC entire team are top players. I don't see any low level players on the team. I'm very sorry, Siobhan. I have to disagree with you. But I am coming from footballing metrics. Maybe you're just coming from the names then. But no. The top CC have seriously quality players straight through. Even the lowest quality CC player you think are still better than majority of the others. And I do believe that after that game with Mona and CC, a lot of rumblings changed. I don't even believe, I know, as to how January was viewing the Jamaican landscape. And I love the fact that Pastor brought up that, yes, because they were the only ones that had data. So he started with the data first, but when the reality comes up, we start to see that no. John will start to see that, no. We have some good quality players in Jamaica aside from them,
Very well.
Yeah, but so Siobhan, we not have to pass the point. We not have to pass the point. Oh, yeah, slap your face, Jesus Christ. I that means I understood what you're saying because I got to your point. I only took longer to get to your point. So that means you're not. Yeah, that means you're not following what I am saying then, Mr. Siobhan. But the link is there, Siobhan. You can stop overpaste the other comments them. And if you want to talk, you come in on the Discord and say what you have to say. And then we will understand you when you say it instant. Since you said we are not understanding what you're saying, sir. Alright? Yes, you are not banned from this channel. You might don't sign any contract with this channel, but you can come on if you want. Alright? Yes. But anyways, Cygnus Media. Cygnus Media. Clearly, I've seen you in several of the streams. Alright? Yes. Say what you want to say. Alright? Say what you want to say aside from what I am responding to Siobhan. Alright? Say others. Because the other day, I've said that Omari Hutchinson is as good as everybody else. You look like you have a problem from that time. So say what you want to say. And I've stuck on that part, Mr. Cygnus Media. So you can argue with me right there. Alright? Yes. And I have some war to go in that Omari Hutchinson video that I posted as well. Because I heard some man tell me that why me I report on Omari Hutchinson stuff. I will read those comments and I will give you guys your 50 lashes, like what Pastor says. Go ahead, Mr. Siobhan Peart. I was fighting with Cygnus Media. Alright? Yes, so I was not talking to you as yet. So now you come on, I'm going to talk to you. Go on, go on. And make sure cleared up.
Yeah, you were saying something that I had something against you with the Omari Hutchinson video?
Oh my God, Jesus Lord!
Asking you a question.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I make sure say what me a war about is the commenters them. So me gonna beat them after you done talk. Me not say nothing about it. It's you. All right. So say.
Yeah. So the first thing I want to say, Pastor, when I was making my comment, I was answering a comment in the Nitro's question in the group. I never made any reference to the YouTube camp.
I'm not presently seeing the comments. So I said what I said in response to what JD said. All right. So I wasn't speaking about you or anything that you said. On that note, continue.
All right. So
no, Nitro. All of CC players are not too old. They are not all too old, and that's why I answered my question. Answered what Siobhan wrote to say that. Even the ones them that we think are not too good, as the big stars them, when you break it down to everyone's level on a footballing metric, they are still ahead of majority of the other big stars them from the school. So Sheva never understood what I was answering to. I saw what he said and I responded to what he said, but what I've said after, he latched onto that and thought that I never answered him. I answered him. So Cygnus Media, pull the video back and then you will learn. But I did answer Siobhan. Go ahead, Siobhan. You have the floor, bossy.
Yeah, so what I was saying, JD, the players that the coach may believe is actually at the quality enough that he believes is good enough for the U20. Those are the players I was making reference to when I said the top CC players. I never said the CC team isn't good. At no point in time would I say that.
No, and I never said you said the CC team was not good.
No, but I was reference to my comment when you were saying when I said that the top CC players, what I meant was that the players who the coach would believe is good enough, that he thinks is good enough to take with him to the U20, those are the players that are majority of those players are not, or they're too old for the U20. So I never downplayed the players' qualities or anything. I'm just saying that the players that the coach would have a keen eye on, majority of those players are too old.
And that is from your take, or you are gathering other information? Because I want to know.
I'm gathering other information.
Oh, okay.
As well.
Because
I take it, it's not out, so take it but what you want. But I'm just letting you know.
Okay,
majority of the players that will be coming from are from Cavaliers. I got information that the only thing that of a certain now the goalkeepers that will be going to Trinidad, the majority of them will be coming from Jamaica. That's the only thing I know for sure. But the team that's going to Trinidad will be made up of local contingent and players from the US. So I don't know the actual squads yet. I haven't heard anything as yet, but I do know that they'll be leaving tomorrow. If there's no issues on that. But the camp, they broke camp last Monday, and they went back into camp Friday gone. So I know that they are in camp right now and they should be training and they are waiting. I know some of the players from the CASA tournament I expect some of those players to be there as well. So I'm not sure how if they will actually be leaving from the US to go there or they will be coming back home. But the majority of the players from the local contingent, they are actually in camp right now.
Okay, but all I was actually saying, in regards to it, remember Mr. Wall is a man that evaluates player. Obviously, he waits on the data, yeah, and maybe some of the other guys them he doesn't have the data for them. So the younger CC guys them that we're talking about, I don't think he casts them aside, and I think he's looking at the entire team in its totality to match with the other players them. I don't even think I know. So I think if they don't consider to work with that that set of cues, the rest of them is due to the fact that they don't have the time because everything rushed up on them. But I think he evaluates everyone and just the analysis and the data basis what he has actually gathered. So even the ones them that we might not consider the big names, I still think that he gathered the data on them just the same. And maybe if we don't see some of the overseas guys them coming in, you would be surprised that he picks players from places that you're saying, but oh, they never even joined the camp. But I think that I know that they have gathered information elsewhere aside from the camp itself. So that's what I was having the conversation on at the time. So maybe Cygnus Media need to listen to me and what I'm trying to say at the time. But I never disagree with you saying that the best players them is already old. I was just saying that the others are equally being considered because they are on par with others across the land as what we would have classed as. So for instance, I'm saying that the best CC players are superior to the other local players them. So the ones them that's below the best them are still on the same level as the ones them that are hyped at other schools them. That's what I was saying. So I don't think him as a coach would bring the approach of saying that, I'm going to just pick the others over them because the others have names. I think he's going to evaluate them and pick them. And if he can't evaluate them in time, he will get around to them at some point and they will be in another team because they are that good. That's what I was trying to say, Big Boss.
Yeah, understood. But I think the evaluation was already completed earlier this week. Because the team broke camp for the locals, first for the local contingent. Because remember, in order for them to have secured the necessary documentation for them to go to Trinidad, all of those arrangements would have had to have been made already.
Yes.
Can be done today. So I think the evaluation was already completed. So I think those are maybe the players who have gone back into camp Friday. I don't know who the players are.
You don't have to keep saying I don't know who the players are.
No, I just want to make that clear because a lot of persons would say that, oh, you're sure, blah, blah, blah. So I just want to say I don't know the players who are there. I didn't ask. I know the information hopefully the information will be released by tomorrow, so we know who are going there. Unfortunately, what I have heard is that there's a possibility that we won't get to see the game, which is unfortunate. I still hope there's something that can be worked out.
You will. Maybe someone will video it. You know, in this world, you never may know. One cell phone and the entire world see what's going on. Or you think that on the basis of they want to keep the information in-house so people in the group can be surprised when they do see them. That's what you're talking on?
No, I don't think it's that. I think it's more of the monetary reasons.
Jesus God.
Yeah, so heard that the local television stations, they don't see the game as being that pertinent. They don't see the impact on a monetary basis to actually carry the game. So that's one of the main reasons why we're not. I had suggested something, but it's not going to work out, unfortunately. So I mean, hopefully someone in Trinidad does record it.
Yeah.
In the Trinidad FA can have it on their YouTube channel. I don't know. So hopefully something does work out because I know we would be interested. I know a lot of persons would be interested to see the games. But hopefully we can get some news. I know this election thing has kind of put a shadow on the U20 thing as well. Maybe it's for the good. Maybe it's for the good. But let's just hope and see. But I do know that
before you pass to the next one, why you think that the election put a shadow on the U20s? Because I would like to hear about that.
Because everywhere you go, nobody is really talking about the U20. Everything is all about elections. Like
really, are you're not watch? And everybody you watch then, because that is not a fear. Because me have it on my channel.
All right, hold on, JD, hold on. Majority, it's all about the election. So wherever shows I've been on, I've always been saying we just want the election done so we can go back to the football.
Okay.
But majority, not everybody, majority.
Yes, well, you need to sign up for actual football channels, which is Imaxit football then. No, me gonna beat you with 50 lashes because you can just look on.
Hold on, JD. For example, if there's 15 channels, but there's only maybe 3 persons talking about the U20, isn't that majority of the persons talking about?
Yes, that's myself. I have to beat you. because a football we deal with it, and you know sign up.
Beat me because I am not wrong.
All right, Mr. Chevon. All right. All I'm saying is you don't need if you have one person speaking about it, and one of those persons are the biggest ones. You don't need for 50 people speak about it. People can speak about the election all they want. You just need to sign in to where you want, where is actually giving you the information. So that's why I'm saying me I gonna beat you, because clearly you now look the information. You want expect information everywhere, so it's easily accessible to you. So you can say, anyone YouTube send me the notification for one second, Pastor. Pastor, 1 second. Let me just finish. So pretty much Chevon just want to say that because YouTube don't always send out the notifications of all videos. All right, so Chevon just want to say, me sign up to every channel, so I want to get the notification by every channel. Man, for talk about U20s.
JD, I watch almost all of your videos. It's just that unfortunate, especially when I wasn't at work last week, so I was able to watch majority of the shows. But because of my ankle injury, I kind of did never want to participate that much, but I watched on my TV.
Ankle injury?
That people win there.
Yeah.
You play ball?
Well, I do play ball, yes, but I wasn't able to play last week.
Pastor, make the man speak, the man Pastor, your mic louder, everybody mic, Go ahead, Chevon.
Yeah, but I damaged my ankle the other day.
Jesus
I
God.
wasn't at work last week. So, but I'm good now. So I should be going back to tomorrow.
Leave the football alone, Chevon. Leave the football alone. Hey, no, say true, brother. Leave it alone, Dan. Leave the physical football alone. That's all I tell you. Leave the physical. All right, I can't tell you nothing. All right, so when you're dead, I will come scrape you up. Then
never did happy.
Oh my God. It's not everyone equipped to deal with the physical part of the game. That's why.
Nobody can't tell me.
All right. You know what? Continue, Chevon.
Dead, Chevon, dead. I am a licensed burial officer. Dead.
Yes, I appreciate that, Pastor.
Wow! So the person that's telling you, Pastor, hold on, Pastor, the person that's telling you not to die and you can impact it in different ways, you're saying, me can't tell you that. And the man that's telling you to go dead, you're saying, yes, I appreciate that. And what kind of world we in now?
JD, honestly, football.
What I can do for him?
Pastor, continue, and Chevon, continue. Pastor, make Chevon talk.
Yeah, so as I said before we deviate to some unnecessary sex areas, as I was saying, JD, I never said everybody, I said majority of the news coming out of Jamaican football is all about the election. And I wanted it to keep information back to the football because our football was being divided. Well, is being divided, and I don't like that because I believe a united front is better than a divided one. So I wanted to just get over that negativity there so we can focus back on the football. We need the players to know that, hey, they are the main part right now, not the persons in the offices. They are
Okay,
the ones
and
that
that is fair. That is fair. But I've always sold my product only on football. Even if I had touched the election, it was because of football. Because even the same thing, I was talking about football, and then obviously I have series that watches the players them, and then come and talk about it. Because I have no time to sit down and just talk for 3 hours on Jamaican drama. You understand me? Because I have other competitions going on that I have to cover. So my basis was always on football, and I can assure everyone once you come here, it's just all about football, nothing else. You're not going to get any election or nothing about Jamaica drama. It's going to always be about football because that's the only time we have, and we only string up when we watch a game or something about football relations. So, but I can't fight. Listen to me, people. I am not pushing nobody aside because if people think that we are better equipped to talk about the election because we can resonate, we can resonate to that a little bit more. I have no problem with that because that's your job. I am always trying to improve in football, so I've always chosen the football side. So I'm not talking down anybody that doesn't talk on football. You understand me? That's your job, and you can do that as well because people need information for that. Because majority of the Stefan, majority of the politics talk, that's what people want to hear. You understand me? Obviously, I have a different fan base, so whatever I do, people watch it. So me can sit my time down and actually watch the games them to come and do my job. But remember, other people maybe don't have that, Chevan. So what say you to that? Because some people have to eat a food, you know, and they have to go where the food is. You understand me? So what say you on that?
I understand that.
Yeah.
Shaman, before you go.
Pastor, me ask Chevan. Nobody come me ask Chevan because me have to be sympathetic to people.
No, hold on. No. The reason for the election, something, while Siobhan is going to answer, Jamaica is in election mode now. They're campaigning because the elections for Jamaica is close. So go, Siobhan. So everything is politics in Jamaica now.
Yeah, Pastor, I have a different view of it because to me, I don't believe whoever goes in going to make a difference, honestly. So for me, just get it over with and done so we can put the focus back on the football. So that's my standpoint. But I'm done with that. No, I don't want to talk about that again.
Okay. But I don't think the focus was always on football still, Siobhan, to be honest. I think the focus was always more on drama and excitement.
Yeah.
So I think with that said, I don't really have a problem with it now because it was always that way based off my experience, to be honest.
Yeah, as a master still, you know, you said that you were there ever again. Just wanted to learn, but yeah. All right. You say where they said the question that you asked again, JD. You can repeat it because
my question was because today for me, you know, I've learned that you have two sides. Obviously, it's new to me. You have two sides to look at things. I'm just saying if people eating, it's the way of eating a food. Because you have to understand that as well. Because remember, we built these YouTube channels as human beings, not necessarily to say that, oh, we're going to make a direct impact on the JFF. We never knew that until a certain time. So everyone's intention, or not everyone, but most people's intentions were always to do what can give them something. And if they can help the fans with a few Jamaican direct football contents, that would be okay. But that was not the first priority. The first priority was to always be more visible. So with that said, I believe that even though football should be the main focus, it is a YouTube channel and it has been run by people that never necessarily sign up to be JFF and Jamaica football thing first. So I don't beat them so bad. That's just my take. So how would you look at it from that standpoint? Because I was here from day one. So would you not look at it different?
All right, so I understand. So I mean, I guess I get what you're saying. Persons, it's a YouTube channel. So persons will try to maximize, try to get the most eyes on their channel because controversy sells.
Yes.
So I guess me speaking, I'm kind of being selfish in some aspect because I'm looking at it from my standpoint when I probably shouldn't. So in that respect, I do understand that. I mean, it's the main thing now, so persons will want to talk about it. So, but for me, I think it can be a bit more balanced because I know a lot of shows it's all about the election, all about. So even when you try to alleviate, even when the election thing is going on, not really asking. It's all about the controversial part of
election,
of that process. Yeah. So it's not about, hey, we saw this in your mandate, or how do you plan on actually imposing what you mentioned? I don't see a lot of that either. It's just about trying to criticize the next person, trying to
all right. So I get you, and I agree with you. So even if you're gonna talk about it, because for instance, me might not talk about it, so people will get the football side, but at least be balanced so people can actually learn something. What's going on? You don't think people learning something because it's all about the drama part. So that is the problem.
There's a lot of disrespect going around, and I'd say from both sides, which I don't understand. Because I don't know if you saw the other show that day with me and JT.
No. Me never get to watch nothing because me kind of busy with next side of family.
Even lawyers got lawyers sent JT letter saying can't call somebody name, and I was like, so for me again, I just want all of this to be over with, because it's doing a lot more bad than good for our football at the moment. It reached to a point where persons were even worried about the big B the other day. I just, for me right now, as I said, I've spoken to persons because me and Simon are good. Simon has just informed Shaman to stop worry about that part. Just focus on what you've been doing. Everybody's saying that I've been doing a good job. Been volunteering, trying to see.
Yeah, but for me, I never said you're doing a good job because I don't know what you're doing.
A good job.
So on this platform, so you see, me no know. So you have to teach me. You have to teach me.
You need to go back to your use of the term. A lot of people, or most people. And I don't know most is correct, but a lot.
Oh, let him talk.
Yeah, some persons have saying that the work that I've been doing, along with helping Simon with the graphics, I've been doing a good job in that.
Graphics.
Yeah, in that aspect. So
and can you kind of expand on that graphics talk, because I want to go and check to next time I can come and beat you or give you credit, because obviously maybe I know a few about graphics.
Some of the graphical posts that have been placed up, the posters and stuff. I have created some of them. The squad announcement that was posted for the Canada game, I created that one. The starting lineup for the game in Jamaica, I did that one. The one for Canada, I was actually fully ill. I think I had COVID at that time. So I've done a few. So yeah, so I've been doing what I can, volunteering how I can when I have the opportunity to do so. So for me, it's just about building the sport itself. I know there's controversy, but I really want to stay away from that, because for me, the controversy is only hurting our football.
Yes, and I respect the term the way that it came about it. But at least you have to understand from my side, because I think my side is more of the active side presently, which you agreed to it, to say that these mans, obviously, but you understand, remember they just got, some of them just got dropped into it, like just dropped into, we come for save Jamaica football. Most of them never really agreed to these things, You understand me? When them get dropped into it, when I realized that, Siobhan, you remember the time when we are gonna do our protest, and you have some man that turn up and say them not protesting nothing because them never signed up for this. And some man said them they didn't want their passes to be revoked. And at first I was angry because I was pushing things on people. But when I look back on it, I said, okay, maybe this man's intention was to work for the JFF from day one. So he came here to get the popularity, and he went and tried to get a job. But maybe his intention is to do something better in a different way. So who am I to tell him that he should burn the bridges I saw something different, and I maybe viewed it to burn the bridges there. I see it fit to burn the bridges, but at first I was getting angry. But when I look back at it from a different side, I'm saying, no, I think he's doing something wrong because I was seeing him as myself. But when I look at it and see him as his own self, I look at it completely different. You understand me?
Understood.
So that's how you have to look at it, Siobhan. So me can forgive other people for what they have done due to the fact that I've looked at it from their standpoint. So all you need to do is to look at it from the next person's standpoint, and then maybe you wouldn't have so much problems. But what you could say to the people, be more careful as to who you think truly want to do something, because some people cannot do anything other than what they're doing because they have to eat a food, and the food always comes first. But you always try to put what you can do for Jamaica first, because you have no things tied to this thing. You just want to be as effective as possible in any capacity you could get a chance to help Jamaica, and people would understand. You understand?
One of the issues I believe Siobhan has, because I've watched some of the programs that he has been on, is that the operating or the behavior of a lot of the persons concerned with the election is like this is never going to be settled. So they engage in slander and character defamation. And when all is said and done, Jamaica football is what we are all saying we want to better. So how do you tear down somebody that by all account is going to be needed, if I even peel the orange in the program going forward? After you tear him down and make him look bad to score political points, you have done more damage to the Jamaican product than you have done any good for the Jamaican product, because all the damage that you do only secure you winning. It doesn't help the program in any positive way, shape, or form.
Okay.
So I can understand him being
continue.
upset with how things are unfolding. I have watched him being a part of interview. Well, I don't even call it interview because it was dubbed as a clash in some places. And I heard his frustration in trying to rein in people and their behaviors. Let me tell I don't believe anybody on any of the YouTube space use harder words than I do. But I do not use words that defame people's character and belittle people. I keep my language usage to the facts, that information is available to prove to you that this is so. So if I say, let me borrow something that they always curse you with, JD, so your head ball. If I say, JD, I wear skull style
God.
today.
Jesus God.
I don't. If
Oh my God.
JD,
the disrespect, Siobhan. The disrespect every day. Them comedy style. My God. Mega start worry about my time and my stuff. Them. Cause this I get embarrassing.
No, but isn't that something? Isn't that something that people?
Oh Lord. Owen.
About you.
Omzo, I don't like these dudes, man.
Call the name, cause you know good. So if I say that, I am not going to say the bald boy, because that is demeaning. You understand? But Siobhan has been a part of shows that has carried that kind of a behavior, and I believe for too much. So that is what he's pretty much upset about, JD. And
yes, but Pastor, you have to understand what Siobhan is doing. is nothing different from what we had started way before Chevron even exist on YouTube. Because remember when we just came on and we were the one trying to sell this narrative of overseas players can play, and because we saw the dream, we were trying to do it. But we had people at the same time saying that should not work, and this we had these people and we are trying. Well, the same set of people might do the problem now, you know. Where Chevron have a problem with, you know. And the same set of people that either say we have fight local players as well. So I had to grow to learn to coexist, because maybe because of more than one person here, they might stumble upon something that I've never thought about. So that's why it's good to look at things from two different angles. So I agreed with Chevron, but I was just trying to show him something different to say that maybe I had figured out things like this and realized. That's why I just made a con and realized that, okay, I can impact as to what I can impact, and that is the only thing I can do. So what I would tell Chevron, people in the chat giving him credit, concentrate on what you're doing. Keep on giving the advices out there and see how much people bite on that advices, you know, that you're giving out, you know, because that's the only thing you can do. I've been out here the longest time.
And some will.
Yes, not all will, but at least you still convince 2 or 3. And then once that those 2 or 3 start to change the narrative in the comment sections, you and those 2 or 3s start to complete it. Why you think I have a channel that people respect so much, Siobhan? Because at first, people started to fight against the product. But I've convinced enough people to start sell the same narrative. But obviously, the convincing, you have to have some proof, you know. So you just keep on working on that proof to put out there. And then once people start to see it, they start to say, all right, then, this man know what he's talking about. And you build a team of not just you fighting, but you and others fighting a cause. So that's what I think Chevron can can use to propel what he would like to see, because we are Jamaicans. You're not gonna just come out and get it over the top instant. You have to fight for that over the top. You understand me?
Yeah, understood.
Yes, Nitro. Yes, majority of the yes, Nitro. A lot of people were opposing to the local players, the overseas players, coming in. And then when Mr. Spade came first and said that, oh, we have to put in a quota at all levels, yeah, man literally said that have a ban because this and that. And I went to those people and explained to them and said, yo, we have different ways how people can learn, you know, because you said it's people learning is the problem. So I provided other ways so to show him that, yeah, people can learn that way as well, not on behalf of entire Jamaica suffering. Because if you put the people that doesn't have the education, more likely you have a higher ceiling to fail. So put the other guys that can do the job and get the job done, but yet still provide a pathway. And when I spoke with them, you know, Chevron, they never came online to agree. But behind doors, and after speaking with them, I saw that their demeanor about the conversation start to change, because maybe they never thought about it that way, because we like to follow the crowd. So the crowd was jumping on the side because them tell Mr. Speed I carry the swing with what he's saying. Oh, quota for day this and quota for day that. So they jumped with it because it was beneficial to them as well, Chevron, to say what Mr. Speed is saying, because that's what was carrying the swing. But I was always standing in my conviction because I was leading from football education. So I never need to change anywhere. I just needed to convince people. So that's what I would say, Chevron. Keep on doing your great work, but that's how you have to do it. Just keep on figuring out how to maximize your reach and make others share your messages worldwide. And are Jamaican circle wide. Not worldwide, but Jamaican circle, yeah. Yeah, man. Go ahead, boss.
Go on, Pastor.
It's 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, you had persons agreeing with the sentiments that there must be quota in the Jamaica football system. There must be. Not maybe, you know. There must be. And that is 2 weeks ago. And that program had garnered support from a wide cross section of the Jamaica football fan base. 2 weeks ago. So whoever want to challenge that there were people, let me say it, there are people who are still fighting the reality that we do not have the quality to take on no international program at no age group level. If we're going to into any competition to win and to win it, any competition we're going into win it, we need to tap into the diaspora. There are persons up to 2 weeks ago who are demanding that there must be quota.
All right. So before we let Siobhan go, listen to me, people. I never let Pastor come here and call me no ball. It is Omzo and Owen. These two men I talk about me should have just ball my head fully, you know, and try disrespect me every week. So everybody feel the need to talk about my hairline and all sort of foolishness. When I'm not worried about that, you know, you get me? They are the ones that worried about that. I'm not gonna turn my show into no year line. I'm coming to give information and have a conversation. All right. So Pastor can go on and talk. You know, I don't know Pastor's year line, and me no want to hear about him year line. So make him say what he want to say. He used it as an analogy, and in pass. Go ahead, Siobhan. Now worried, Pastor.
Whoever, I never said nothing about your hairline, sir.
Siobhan, just speak. Speak, Siobhan. We're done with them. Yeah. Speak.
Yeah, so Pastor, so I was on the show that you were talking about. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the name. Or, well,
yeah, man, you can talk. You can talk. Once you're not, I don't think you defame anyone.
No, man, cause me and Management good. Me and Management a friend. Me and Management actually good. So what Management was making, Management never said that there should be quota. I think he made quota to the junior level. And based off his reasoning, I think
U15.
Yes, I think it does actually hold some merit. And I don't think he put a full limitation. Because just as how Mr. Speed
he was clear. He said majority of it.
Pastor, make Siobhan speak, and then you say where you get from it, and then people can go to watch. Yeah? Yes. Go ahead, Siobhan.
What Management had said, for like the U15, he doesn't see a problem with having a quota. Maybe not having the quota system in place itself. That's what I would possibly say. Don't have it in place, but have it there that, hey, try to utilize some local players, because that will probably aid in their development, because the U15 is not an international tournament. It's mainly a regional tournament itself. So and then to have kids at 15-year-old to travel from the UK or the US to come here, you will actually have to have adult supervision. Majority of those tournaments, I think, are kept during school periods as well. Maybe right now the JFF probably can't afford it. And currently they seem to have a situation where they don't know how to get money as well. So in that basis, I was able to kind of understand what Management was saying, to say, hey, maybe at the U15 level, fine. But he did say, to be fair, Pastor, that for the U20, he doesn't believe that there should ever be a quota system, because U20s are not juniors. Those are actually grown men. Well, not grown men, but they're adults. So I can understand that. And so I don't think we can really get up and just say like we're criticizing him because he wants him to have that there. I think it would be a bit far-fetched, because he does actually have because if we are developing players, JD, if we say that we're developing players here in Jamaica, and then there is nobody at the age of 15 who you think is good enough, which I believe that majority of our players aren't good enough for the international level, but I don't think it's that much far-fetched for a because remember, you 15 or 15, 14,
but
14-year-old.
Siobhan, let me explain something to you, Siobhan. We started this program to say what the coach said. He said, in order to achieve what we want to achieve at this point of time that Jamaica is at, we have to do what the others doing, at least to a fraction, because we don't have the funding. So if you have the guys them available, you should not try to find the next way how to make a specific bunch. So I understand where you said management coming from. But remember, the reason why Pastor might take a different take to it, because I had heard him say it out of his own mouth that he would have wanted a quota because all 15-year-olds are the same level players. So if you give, no, he said it, man. I never one can say that because I don't say things that people don't say because I write them down. So because he said that now, and maybe because the trajectory changed to more overseas, people would not believe him when he comes off trying to agree to certain point because he had already made his feelings clear what he would have wanted. You understand me? So that's why I think, Pastor, you only can judge people of what they have said. So that's why I think Pastor took that stance to say that's what he meant. And based off my knowledge, Italy, one of the biggest football teams in the world, but they have tried to get 515 years old to come and try out for Italy from England, from all over the world. Why would they do so if the Italian kids are not learning football? Jamaica football level is nowhere Italy. Mexico fighting for youth 15 players. United States just fought Honduras for a youth 15 player. Just fought England for a youth 15 player. So our competitors actually fighting people for youth 15 players. If they had the 11 to represent them, I still believe that they would have fought for the entire 11 to come in. So my question to you is it that because we can't develop people inside the country? Because remember, if Italy can do it, because Italy still have a pathway to develop those youth 15 players. Yeah. So is it that because we can't develop them no other way, that's why we have to put a quota in? That's my question to you, Siobhan.
All right. So first, I don't believe any national team should be used for development. I think national team should be the prize, should be the aim for everybody. That should be the what I call it, the valedictorian speech. That should be the highest level. So I don't think it's something where you should be going there for training. The national team isn't for training. You don't train for the national team. National team is the pinnacle, is the pinnacle of the echelons of everything. So I don't think anybody should be developed at the national level. Those stars should be sent down to the clubs. I'm not even going to say school, to the clubs and the academy. So as I said, everybody hearing everybody's point on this, everybody does have a good point on what you just said. Because if Italy, knowing the powerhouse that they are, and they are developing players,
and I will send you the paper as well. Milan. I will send you the paper as well so you read it and see for yourself.
You don't need to do that, JD. Majority of everything what you report are things that you read. So it's not something you don't just go out and speculate, which I have to give you credit for that. So if, as you said, Italy who have academies like Milan, Juventus, well, the two Milan clubs and Juventus, Roma, if they are doing it and they're still also they're trying to get players from overseas, then that's good. That's very good of them. Maybe we should probably look into it. But as I said, JD, I think management point as well, it is valid. So I'm not going to just criticize somebody for that. Because remember, management has, realistically, he has no say in what really happens. He's just giving his personal opinion. Just somebody may have an opinion we don't agree with. So I'm not going to just get up and just criticize.
That's another thing I disagree with.
Hold on, Siobhan, that's why I ask you, on what basis would you agree with it? And you answered based on the fact that we might not have other sources to develop players and you would like to maximize your pool as best as possible. So even if you're born in Jamaica, you never may know who can turn out the next star. So because of that one person that can turn out good, you want to maximize it. So I agree with you, and I would have agreed to a management to an extent, but the fact was, because he said what he said before, and he never put the same context as to what he's put into it now. And so I think Pastor and those guys are not as pleased. But I would leave you and Pastor and the other person came in to speak for the next 10 minutes because I have to get ready to go out for the party. So I will give you the 10 minutes to chop it up, alright? So be respectful, guys. Please do smash the like button, share, and subscribe. Please. Alright? I will come back soon. Go ahead, Pastor.
Let me deal with the last thing. Let me deal with the last thing that you said first. That management does not have any say in certain things. Every voice on the YouTube space is an internationally heard voice. Repetition deepens impression. That much I know you know. You have always come across as somebody with a good level of intelligence. So Manning's man not only have influence, he is viewed and regarded by a wide cross section of the viewership. The U15 competitions are not global competitions, but they are international competitions because they are restricted by regions. So there's no global U15 competition, but there are international U15 competition. The fastest way to develop a national product at any age group or gender is your placement in the international competitions. As long as you're going into a competition, you are going to be graded as heavily as you are assessed. And if you continue to go into competitions and fail, you will be deemed a failure. You are what you do. The Jamaica football landscape is not such that develops players or produce players for the international platform. We are not at that level. We need to put infrastructure, policies, and procedures in place to become comparable to our counterparts in the Caribbean region. I am not even going to say Concacaf. I am just keeping it to our close neighbors. Having said that, Manning's man premise for the quota system at U15, and he did say that even though he doesn't support any quota at U17, he can tolerate it a little. Something else that he said is that majority of the squad must be locally born, and that's it must select from. Majority, that was his word that he used. And he said, if 1, 2, and 3, if 2 or 3. Now, every U15 player that is going to go across international borders will have to be accompanied, whether by a nanny system or by parents. And yes, he got big support from Mr. Speed using this, that they have to be chaperoned. And so the JFF is again playing the finance card to support their quota system, which is a dead jackass at this time. You are an administration with the responsibility for development as well as the product that you're selling on the international space. You go into competitions to win, not to parade underdeveloped players. There should be no quota system for any age group, because we must at all times, you made the statement, that the national team is not a place for development. So we should at all age group put our best players on the park. My final point on this matter is that there is enough data globally to inform every coach that when you put the top quality players with the player of lesser quality, it improves the player of lesser quality game. So if you are sensible when you get the best possible players available, you carry those who are probably a little less capable in camp with them. That's how you develop your players, age group by age group. So even when they did not make the under 15 team at the national level, they didn't make the national under 15 team because they had played with these advanced under 15 national players, and you continue to keep them within a program, teaching them, and they continue to learn. You may find some of them making it to the under 17 national team, even though they didn't make the. And the reason for that is because they were playing with better players who could show them, display for them the the practical for the theory that they have been learning. There is no benefit from a quota system. None.
Understood. All right, so Pastor, so I just came up with a solution. But I think the last point that you made would have probably have kind of threw that out. So instead of, because as I mean, like instead of having just like issues, just try to find solutions around problems, right? Have like just like what, because I've seen teams do it. I've seen France do it. I've seen especially the US do it. Why not have like 3 separate teams? So you have a Jamaica Gold, Jamaica Black, a Jamaica Green. One team can be a Caribbean-based team, so all of the teams within Jamaica and the Caribbean, they can be on one. All the teams, all the players who are able to play for Jamaica in the North American region, they can be on that team. And then the team, all the Jamaicans who are able to play in Europe, mainly England, I would say, they play on another team. So they have their camps within their particular countries. So especially for like tournament times now, they come together. So instead of just entering one Jamaican team, you can probably enter 3. I don't know if that solution makes sense. I don't know if it's viable. I don't know if it would be possible. Especially seeing that it's not a globally international tournament, it's just a regional. And U15 is seen as development, is a development league to some aspect. Why do you think that solution would be helpful? So that way, everybody will then be able to represent Jamaica from a younger age. So they will have that affection for Jamaica from a younger age, and it would probably ease the particular amount of monetary resources that the JFF may always have, so that players don't have to fly to Jamaica, so they can actually have the camps in the UK, have the camps in North America. Do you think that option would be viable?
I see 2 other persons on the stream. I don't know why they're not commenting. Kevin and whoever else is there.
Yeah, if anybody here, because I'm not near my phone, that's why. So the other person, based off what I just said, do you think that option is viable?
Can shoot at that.
All right. Oh, finish your point, Pastor. We have around 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes, and then we have to continue because
to answer Siobhan. To answer Siobhan, anything that is going to incorporate the best of us is going to be better for us. So, as I said, there is no benefit from a quota system because a quota system keeps dividing us. Everything that incorporates the best of us is something that is going to bring out is going to be better for us all the time. So yes, I would say that could work, but that would require administrative dynamics, which our administration has shown us they do not possess. So first, they would have to get themselves where they're able to delegate responsibility, you would have to find somebody within these different regions. And
I mean, we always hear persons saying that you have coaches in England willing to do it. Well, I mean, we already have camps in the US right now with the US based Jamaicans.
come on.
So that's why
I'm going to
that's
shut
why the
that
idea
down with one, I'm going to shut that down with one name, one statement. Sidela did not just make herself available, she pumped money in it. Then discard her. There are several areas. I remember an interview with our former defender in the United States.
Pastor, we run out of time. Pastor, we
Ah.
run out of time completely. Sorry about that, my brother. And I saw a few more people
man.
came on. But we have to run now, guys, because I told you guys at the start that I only had 2 hours exactly
They didn't
do this video.
answer, even though we tried to incorporate the two of them.
Yes, so sorry about that, Kelvin J and PC Gamer. Thanks, but Siobhan, massive respect. Like the fact that you brought a different perspectives or something nice, but at the same time you have to take your same advice. Bring up different perspective to it as well, and you look at it different. So I'm glad that at least you're welcome to listen. So that means we can get to a resolution, which I respect that. All right. So thanks for joining the program. People, please do hit the like button, share and subscribe. If I do come back in time and I don't have the duty with Africans, I will return and try to continue the rest of the chopping up, and we can get Cranky and those guys on. And I will do the StreamYard so everyone has a chance to come on and give their take and also call-ins. All right. But no, I have to run out because it's my kid's birthday, but I still committed to the task. People said I should break it down, so I tried to come and break it down. So hope you understand, but I have to run. So thanks yet again for everyone that came on. Massive respect, and see you in the next one.